Hi, I'm Jamie Campbell. I am a Kansas City-based comedian. I do stand-up comedy, improv, sketch comedy. I'm also a screenwriter, a director, a producer. I tour all over the country, and occasionally I might pop up on your TV. How long have I been doing comedy? I've been performing since 2007. I was in graduate school studying theater, doing like a lot of very serious texts. I had just played Brutus in William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. And I saw a sign in the green room for a full-time program at the Second City, where I would get to learn comedy and walk through the same halls as a lot of the comedic heroes that I had as a kid. And so I packed up my things, and I moved from Oklahoma to Chicago, and I stayed there for the next 8 years. And I started off doing improv and sketch comedy. I jumped into stand-up after being in town for about a year, and I have never looked back. How would I describe myself as a comedian? Well, I've been doing it for a long time. And at this point in my career, I think I'm someone who understands that the show is more important than themselves. So what I bring to the stage is going to vary depending on the needs of the show. When I'm doing my regular acts, I would say I'm kind of a wide-eyed man-child. I'm somebody that's trying to learn and connect, and I want the audience to have an experience of joy and to walk out of the venue feeling better than they did when they walked in. So I do stand-up, improv, and sketch comedy, and I balance them all because I personally get something a little bit different out of each of them. When I'm doing stand-up comedy, I am directly connecting with the audience as myself. I'm not playing a character. I'm saying this is who I am, this is how I see the world, and I hope that we're going to find some ways to laugh about my own experiences, and that you'll see some of your own life reflected in mine, and that we'll connect. When I'm improvising, I'm really trying to connect with my fellow scene partners and to uplift what they're doing. I'm oftentimes playing characters that are very different from myself, and I get to explore life through the lens of another person. When I'm doing sketch comedy, a lot of times I get to put my writer's hat on, and I get to create things for all of the characters to say. And when I'm a writer, my big goal is always to create moments where the people that are reading or performing my words are going to shine. So even if I'm writing a sketch that I'm in, I'm really trying to make sure that all of the characters in that sketch have moments where they shine and that they feel proud to be doing the work that they're doing. There's nothing better than writing something for another performer and watching them get a huge laugh from the audience. Because you know what that feels like, to be out there and to get that laugh and to know that you gave that feeling to another performer. That's something special. So to be successful at doing comedy, you've got to ask yourself how you define success. And if it's fame, then I don't know what to tell you, because I've never been famous. But if it is to reflect your own human experience and connect with other humans, and in that moment that you're out there performing, you're on stage, to have everybody in that room feel connected and not alone, and to be someone who shines a little extra light in the world, if that's how you define success, then going out there and being your true, honest self is how you succeed. I am one of the co-hosts of a podcast called On Stage KC, that shines a light on a lot of creators, usually in the theater world, but not just theater. Poets, comedians, basically anyone who's creating something that is happening on a stage in Kansas City. We want to interview them and shine a light on other performers. I did not start this podcast. I was actually approached to host it by a good friend of mine named Nathan Gwartney, and he brought me and Tess Koppelman in. And Tess and I have known each other for quite a while. We worked on different projects together. She's also worked as a publicist for me in some of my touring shows. And uplifting other artists is something that I'm really passionate about. To me, at the end of the day, I want part of my legacy to be that I was an artist who helped other artists. I think there's room for all of us. And there are a lot of incredible things happening in Kansas City. So when I was approached to host On Stage KC, I was absolutely all in. A paycheck's nice, but it's so much more than that. Really what it is me getting a chance to dive into the mind of other creatives who deserve a spotlight and being able to give that to them. The Bird Comedy Theater is, I'd say it's probably my home stage here in Kansas City. I feel like there's this kind of kinship and family that has been created there in that space. They've created an inclusive, uplifting place for local creatives to kind of do work that they might not otherwise get an opportunity to. If I've got an idea for a show, and I get a lot of very weird experimental ideas for shows, the Bird will always give me a space to put that up. They were also my go-to theater when I knew that I was going to record Big Dad Energy, my stand-up comedy special. Yeah, I do a lot of commercial work as an actor, and I enjoy being on a set. I wouldn't say that I'm passionate about doing commercials. I am passionate about that paycheck that comes from getting them, and I do enjoy being on set with other local KC actors. One of the best things about doing commercial work is that you can connect with other actors and filmmakers who are creating indie work. They're getting a paycheck on the set of that commercial, but then, if you do a good job and you connect with them, then a lot of times you become someone who they're thinking about when they're working on an indie project. And for me, doing work in indie films is something I'm very passionate about. And so being on the set of a commercial can sometimes be something that can lead to that work. I love touring. I've toured all over the United States over the years, and there's something special about taking a joke that works at home and then putting it in front of that audience out there on the road and discovering this thing is funny anywhere. What I don't love about the road is being away from my wife and my puppy. I've got a little 6-month-old named Millie, and she's awesome. Yeah, Big Dad Energy is my streaming comedy special. It's available on Amazon Prime, Tubi, and even YouTube. And it is an hour-long special about me coming to grips with the fact that I'm probably never going to be a father. My wife and I didn't meet each other till we were almost 40, and we're not ready for kids right now. And that basically means that we're most likely letting the clock run out on the possibility of parenthood. And this stand-up special was me kind of coming to grips with that, kind of thinking about what type of a legacy I'll leave behind, since I'm not going to leave it behind via having children. And kind of having some heartfelt moments, as well as finding plenty to laugh about. I toured it all over the U.S., recorded it right here in Kansas City at the Bird Comedy Theater, and now people all over the world can see it. Outside of comedy, I'm also an actor and a screenwriter, and that's a lot of fun. As a screenwriter, I've won several competitions, probably most notably last year I was the grand prize winner of the Dallas International Film Festival screenwriting competition, and that meant that Torfoot Studios, they've done work with people like Aaron Paul and Helen Hunt. They are now producing my film Sneakerhead. That's in the pre-production stages right now, so look for that on the film festival circuit pretty soon. I also just enjoy spending time at home with my wife and my dog. We like to go out and, catch a concert or go to a sporting event. We were just recently at a KC Current game, and if you haven't been to the new stadium, it is a really cool vibe. Possibly the most welcoming and inclusive environment I've ever been to as far as like a big sporting event. What do I like best about the Kansas City comedy scene? This scene is doing a really great job of finding ways to take care of each other and make sure that all voices are heard. Where do I get inspiration for my comedic material? And I think most comedians would answer this the same, just life. Or when I see something or I feel something, I want to talk about it. My comedy heroes tend to shift as the years go by, and a lot of times as I'm getting older, I look back and the comedy that influenced me maybe it's a little bit problematic when I look back. But some of those heroes that I think have stood the test of time, people like Mitch Hedberg, just those one-liners, those are the things that kind of inspire me to want to get into comedy. Richard Pryor, the way that he would take on these characters in the stories that he was talking about, and he would make your heart break for him, and then as soon as you're on the verge of tears, bring you to laughter again. The best piece of advice that I could give a new comic is 2 words: kindness and patience. What is my biggest comedy dream? Well, when I started comedy, my dream was just to be able to do comedy for a living and have food on my table, a roof over my head, and to be comfortable. I got that. I made it. People can find my live show dates, my online content, my social media, everything is at jamiecampbellcomedy.com. Thanks, guys.